There we go. How's everybody doing there? All right. Going to be a little interesting in some of the stuff going on today with it. Today we will be doing the rest of 11 and into 12, and then we will. We're going to get through some of the stuff that's pre-typed in and work it around, and we're going to do a little bit of writing in number 12. And then when we're done today, tomorrow we'll start up with, yeah, there it is, Family Compound series, Hunker Down. There's a bunch of stuff I have to do during the non-live stream hours where I'm editing. I'll be finishing editing this a little bit, and I'll be editing both of these two over here and tying them back in together and get people going back to where they're going and stuff. So, and I'll be doing that while I'm doing the live streams for Hunker Down. And then after Hunker Down, we'll do the Blood Moon Falling. And then by the time I get done with those two books, these two should be done, and I should be starting on book 3 for both of those series. And hopefully I will have I will also have the start for hardcore going as well. In fact, I already have the start of hardcore going for the first couple of chapters, but I got a lot more to do on it. So with that, let me go over here and get the right up here. There we go. Get that up and bring us across and up. There we go. And Hallie, Food Forest Permaculture, is in here, along with Walt Rogers and Crew 1351. I just noticed that Howie popped in here. All right. And looking at the time, Walt's lunchtime just got over, and he's back doing the sheriff stuff. And we got a couple more come in here. Got a couple dropping out too, just as fast. Probably because they realized they couldn't make a snide remark about subscribing. All righty. Yeah. So Walt Rogers is a friend of mine who took the name Walt Rogers because he has. Anyways, he's been helping me give me ideas and stuff on both novel series here so far. And he took the name of the character Walt Rogers just to poke fun at me. So I know who he really is and stuff. We talk all the time. Okay, so with this, we're going to go and take the highlights. Come on. Take the highlights out. So this is where we stopped yesterday. And so Sergeant Mary Donaldson and Vice President Matt Mitchell were talking about some of this equipment that he brought down in the MV-22 Osprey, and some special gear for her that B&W Enterprises had turned over to him to have Mary check out and do some testing on. And while they were talking about it, Abigail walks up and asks the question, so what's actually she walks and goes, dang, when she heard about the new rifle that Matt brought Mary. And both their heads snapped down to Abigail, surprised that she was standing next to him. So what's an HM Dax? Abigail asks. And is there a second rifle? Hang on. They both stared down at her. Hey, I have 76 confirmed sniper kills and probably several more unconfirmed Quigleys. Abigail smiled sweetly. Master Sergeant Rybeck certified me on M110A3, M40 A6, M107, M109, and he even had me alone fire the M09 using the M1785 HEF at 2.25 miles. I put all three through the pickup window. She pointed to the 3 marksmanship qualification badges on her. Well, Mary began and then stopped. She looked over at James and then back to Abigail. Has the colonel made up his mind on adopting you? Abigail's countenance dropped. Not yet. What? Matt Mitchell asked in surprise. Last night at the wedding party dinner, she asked the colonel if Mrs. Jackson was going back with him to Idaho. When they said she was, she asked them to adopt her or be her foster parents. Mary explained. Because I need tough love discipline, Abigail added. And as nice as the Clarks are, they won't give it to me because Michael and I were separated when I was 4 months old and our parents died. So how did you get to be such a good marksman? Matt asked. The family that faked adopting me let me shoot air rifles. Abigail smiled brightly. This summer I took third at nationals for big bore PPC long distance, 500 yards in silent mode. Then, and Tammy's here. Rebel Canners is in the house. Then she looked at Mary. Kimberly says that you shoot the Zeus too. The three of them noticed everyone else was gathering around. Noticed everyone else gathering around the others and started moving closer. Hang on, that's not right. Gathering around. Around the generals and started moving closer. So what's an HM DAX? Abigail asked again. Head-mounted display and command system, Mary answered slowly with a slight pause between each word. They're used in the F-35s and the next generation fighters being developed. So why would you need one? I'll read you in later, Mary said so flatly, indicating for Abigail to drop it. Aye, Sergeant, Abigail replied. Matt stepped over to where the others were still discussing about how to deal with the forced recruits of the Heavens Devils. As he listened to their perspectives on the disposition of those individuals, gasps came from several of the guests at the north in the North Room residence. He and others turned to see a figure step into the hall wearing a Marine Corps combat uniform, MCCUU, with Major's insignia on it. Their face could not be seen as they had a fully enclosed black helmet with blacked out visor on that looked like it came straight out of a science fiction movie. It had material matching the MCCUUs that connected the helmet to the top of the blouse, so no skin showed of the major. So no skin of the major was exposed to view. The hands were covered by a MCCU patterned set of gloves that were also attached to the blouse at the sleeves. Major Payne, glad you could make it, Matt said with a wiry smile. My pleasure, Mr. Vice President, Major Payne answered in a deeply modulated voice. Those that came from Idaho did double takes between Mary and Major Payne. Only Vice President Matt Mitchell and Sergeant Major Donaldson Hawks smiled. Mary was barely able to suppress hers. Another Marine dressed the same was standing in the doorway. This one much bigger. Had a Lance Corporal insignia on. And corporal punishment. The corporal nodded. Mr. Vice President. Abigail leaned closer to Mary and whispered, "Are those HM DAX?" "Yes," Mary responded softly. The major turned to the group gathered around the mat. General Hale, General Matt Marquis, Colonel Jackson, Commander Smythe. Major, General Hale said with a nod and glanced back at Mary again. Major Spain spoke again. The V5C2 functioned perfectly at this elevation. The solar panels have a higher efficiency as well. Excellent, Matt said. Although you may not get a chance to use them thanks to Sure Shot's sniping plan, James added. The V5C2 has two GAU-19s and a MK-47A1 with the Eros R400S Mark II remote. It can snipe with 40 millimeter grenades, Major Payne replied. Abigail squeaked out a barely suppressed moan of excitement. The heads of James, Kimberly, and Michael all snapped around to her. I didn't say anything, she blurted out quickly. Good, Kimberly said, because you already have an M109 to snipe with, and you can't hump a quarter mile with a Mark 47A1 or M320A A1 with your Zeus and or an M109, plus all the ammunition you need. I know, Captain, Abigail said. I was just thinking about taking one or two of our electric quads and putting a couple solar panels and a multi-fuel generator on it, adding a GU-20 and a MK-47A. Then the fire teams could do long-range patrols like that old TV series. Hang on, I need to add something to this. I can't even figure out how I'm going to say this. There it is. The old TV series that Mr. Clark has on DVD, The Rat Patrol. But since you mentioned it, they could have an M320A when they creep in on the bad guys. General Hale chuckled. I haven't seen the Rat Patrol in decades. That's not a bad idea, Michael said, and turned to his adopted father. Dad, can you take the Rat Patrol DVDs over to Q section and have them watch some of them tonight? Sure thing. Benjamin replied. Sarah walked up to the group while talking on her sat phone. Got it. I'll let them know. They will let you know as soon as they make their decision. All right. Talk to you later, Candace. Bye. She reached the group as she put her sat phone away. General Smythe said there will be 2 A-10s arriving tomorrow, along with 2 more MV-22 Osprey, 2 Vipers, and a Marine Super Stallion. Did they, General Marquis asked, did they say what time to expect them? They're taking off at 05:30 and should be here around 10, Sarah answered. And Joseph said to let him know if there's anything special you want, she said to Matt. Abigail slowly raised her hand and Sarah said, yes, Abigail. Can General Donaldson send another HM Drax Link 30mm rifle and with a 28-inch suppressor like Sergeant Donaldson just got? James glared at Abigail. She looked at him with a slightly hurt look. You know I like big bore. While everyone was staring wide at Abigail, James tilted his head slightly. What? Abigail asked innocently. James continued to stare at her. Fine, Abigail said, fine, forget I asked. She sighed and dropped to the floor and started doing push-ups. 50. James said, then go talk to Mrs. Clark. Aye, Colonel. Abigail said with hope in her voice. Sarah looked over at the Banshee, who had moved back to a chair against the stone wall near the fireplace. She looked a bit nervous. And when Abigail finished, Fin, finished her 50 FIF push-ups, she walked over to hang on, got to do it right. The Banshee and sat next to her. And comma, period. The Banshee smiled and took her hand. Oh. And hang on. Whispered to, Abigail. Matt walked up to Sarah with Mary in tow. She is scary, he said. Which one, Mary asked. The Banshee. True, Mary agreed, but remember, Tempest McClellan was raped at 15 and murdered after the baby was born. I don't think I could have moved on after that either. And we don't know the rules for moving on or staying or the penalties involved. That could make someone into something to be scared of, Sarah stated as she thought about it. Well, Sure Shot turned herself into a scary sniper at 13, Mary said. What's scary about her? Sure Shot has 76 confirmed kills of Heaven's Devils, with a lot of probable Quigley's hat tricks not confirmed. What? Sarah exclaimed. Yeah, she shoots a Zeus like mine, Mary added. And if she gets her wish, Colonel and Mrs. Jackson will bring her up as their foster daughter. When Tempest finally had a smile on her face, Abigail got up and walked across the room to Monica. This could be it, Mary said. As they watched the interaction between Abigail and Monica, Tempest walked up beside Mary. She says that she really needs parents that will set solid boundaries for her. I hope they are what she needs and will give it to her. You sound sorry about that, Mary said. She helped me deal with what the Heaven's Devils did to me, Tempest said. She even defied Juby to keep my secret. Matt looked down at Tempest. Are you going to be okay if she leaves with them? Hang on, that's supposed to be a question mark. Yes, she sighed. Hang on. Commander Smythe and the ladies have taken me in and shared their secrets and desires, so that helps me too. All right, now I got to do some writing, folks, not just editing. Give me a second here. Get a little brain juice here. All right. So what you see highlighted here in yellow, the first word is Gaelic for fire spitter, which is the name of a demon in Irish lore. So let me see here. What am I going to do here? Okay. It sounds like you have a good group of friends, Matt said. Oops, that's not true. Okay. That's a said. Yes, they are. Tempes. Tempest replied as she looked up at the vice president. Then she, CAU, caught a glance of Sarah's titanium skull mask, MAS. Sorry. Helmet mask. And GA as she recoiled from her. She's a demon. Hang on here. Pull it up here. Pull it down. There we go. Control C. Fourth. Tempest, Mary. Okay, so yes, they are. Yes, they are. Tempest replied as she looked at the vice president. Then she caught a glimpse of Sarah's titanium skull helmet mask and gasped loudly as she recoiled from her. She's a demon. Tempest McClellan's voice came forth louder. Tempest, Mary said quickly. QUI said quickly. It's not one you need to be afraid, FRA, afraid of. She's, hang on here. Let me change that. She's my adopted SIS. She's my adopted sister, and I got too many. Boy, I held that down too long. She's my adopted sister. She's a demon. Repeated. Look at her. Look at her. She has no face. Just a skull. Just a just a silver skull. That is part of her armor. Just part of her armor. Mary said, trying to both of the TEMP I have one like that too. I'm on here to Mary. Let's see. Still overriding oh great. Okay, hang on a second. Let me do a quick search here to get that. Control F so I get it right. Next one up. There we go. Flaherty. Control C. Go down. Back there. Go Uh, okay, let's see. All right, getting that in there. Trying to get that figured out here. Uh, all right. Let me think. I think I'm gonna think work on this in my mind here a little bit as I try to figure out how I'm gonna make this go. Just trying to figure out exactly what's happening here. Hmm. Sure. Hmm. How am I going to do this? I'm just trying. I know what I want to say, but trying to figure out how I'm going to put it in there is what gets a little difficult. So I've gone around just typing, just blindly typing stuff, and then get about 2 pages and go, no. I go get about 2 pages down, 2 or 3 pages down, and go, nope, delete it all because it didn't work out right. So I'm just trying to get some stuff here going here. Sim. Up to hers. Okay. This hers is one of those words that is weird. It's not HER apostrophe S for possession. It's no just no apostrophe, just add the S to it. Excuse me. All right. Okay. I needed a script. The script. It's Matt did not snap Mary's name and didn't bark her name, but he said it with some, you know, gusto, if you will, sternly. Matt said sternly. Hang on here. Okay, that throws a little extra curve to it. Oh, we got a couple more people in here. Okay, so what I came up with here was so Tempest, both Tempests sharing the same body there, saw um, Sarah's titanium skull head mask and freaked out thinking she's a demon. And Mary is, I got a capital there. Mary is trying to calm them down so that Tempest McKillen doesn't go full on Banshee demon on them. And and Mary is trying to explain that to her that it's just body armor. This armor for that she wears. Okay, we had a couple of come in here and dip right back out again. Uh, so and then the vice president is saying, hey, he's basically telling her, zip it. Now it's not the time to be explaining this about classified body armor. And then Mary replied formally, yes, Mr. Vice President. And Tempest McClellan is going, Mr. Vice President, and she's searching the memories of Tempest O'Flaherty, whose body she is inhabiting with her, and then realizes, oh, this is a great leader, and drops to a knee. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, now to work in the rest of it. And to Tempest, Tempe. hang on, with the COV. Sarah held out her hand with the titanium bone covered glove to Tempest and said, "Look at my hand." And she reached over with her other hand and removed the glove, GLO glove, VX, exposing her real hand. See, it is just a glove with metal shaped bones on it to scare the bad. Shape bones on it to scare the bad guys. It also protects me from knives and bullets. It is like the, all right, the EQU equipment that Q section put on you to begin with. Mary said. Oh. Said as it became clear to her. Okay, there we go. And we're down to 3. Well, maybe down to 3. I forgot to do something here. You know, I really have getting torqued at the way YouTube's chat has degraded with the newest upgrade. Oh, we just went up to 5. We just had 2 people come in and two people just left again. Because it used to be if you had the window open and anybody that talked or chatted while you were in there, if you put the @ sign, the first two letters of their name, they would pop up. But if it's been more than 30 minutes, it doesn't recognize them at all. So yeah, so it's not even that long for some of them here. Let's see, our crew 1351. He was ST still. I'm putting this in if anybody comes in and read it about Crew's comment. So this is the first time that Tempest has seen Sarah. Yeah. She was still in the camp when Sarah did her demonstration. Yeah, so come on. There we go. So explaining that that Tempest was still back at base when the demonstrations were going on in the recreation room an hour and 20 minutes beforehand. And we got someone else in here. Hey. All right, so there's explanation of some of the stuff in the chat going on. There we go. So it is just for show and playing on their super and let's get this corrected here. Superstitions. Yeah. EX. Exactly. Matt said. But you have real powers. Nature, pain, fury, and CO corporal punishment. PU. Okay, let me get this in here. Okay, I think it's right. Let me read it, make sure. Okay, so Tempest, it is like this equipment that Q section put on you to begin with, Mary said. Oh, Tempest McClellan said as it became clearer to her. So it is just for show and playing on their superstitions. Exactly, Matt said. But you have real powers. Lightning, death, real powers. Hang on. Like CAN. You have real powers like Juby Chan does with chi energy. Lightning Death, Major Pain, Sergeant Fear, and Corporal Punishment have stage power. Have stage powers with battle armor, with real battle armor. So she can't hurt me. Not your. Okay. All right. That can's gone. Okay, so I'm having working out here, so I get to it, so we can get through the end of the day here fairly quickly here. Hopefully, I can get it done here in the next half hour, and we'll move on in it, and we'll get closer to starting chapter 12. Because I got a bunch of chapter 12 already plugged up, but I need to work things together and get going on it here. All right. Just try and still figure out exactly how far I want to go on this. Well, where did I have it? I know I mentioned it here before. I thought undo, Control C, not Control V. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I hear something outside, and of course the numbers here now just dropped below what they should be because there are more people in here I know that are still watching, even though they're not commenting. So, anyways, let me see what I got over here. S N U N numbers. Okay, so that, and as soon as I typed in on my side on YouTube, the numbers came back up. But I just got them typing a couple minutes ago. So why is the channel saying, "Oh, it's not being watched"? That's the way YouTube is taking watch hours away because you don't, no one's really watching there. Yeah, they are. Okay, let's see. Hang on, maybe just spread that out. Da, da, da. CAU. Okay. Sometimes it's a C, sometimes it's the T in there. It has a, it figures out, oh, this is the one you meant. Okay. Hang on, let me get this out here. No, undo that. Then her head. Okay, all right. So here's what I got here. So she can't hurt me, Tempest, McClellan asked. Not with any superpowers. Her weapons and speed can hurt normal people, not your spirit form, Matt said. I did a demonstration with cold fire. Hang on, I want to emphasize this. With cold fire that I use to scare heaven's devils when we are interrogating them to get them to reveal their secrets, Sarah said. Can I show you? It won't hurt either of you. Okay, she said cautiously and took Mary's hand. Sarah held up her right hand and without the glove on it, and green flames appeared around the hand, then around her head. With the skull, SKU, skull, HELME. With a and her other hand as well. Coroneth ka orthanach, Tempest, McClellan exclaimed in fear and squeezed Mary's hand. Mary's hand. What does that mean? Mary asked. Fire spitter, SPITT, fire spitter. There we go. Now we got fire spitter in there. I can go ahead and drop that down here in a minute here. She can SPIR burn spirits and and people. No, she, no, comma, yeah. No, she can't. Mary said as she held out her hand for Sarah to take. And I need to make that into that. A-S-P. Yes, as the flames. W-R-A. M-A-R-I. Without hurting her. Trying to think of what word she's going to use here. All right, so fire spitter, Mary, Tempest McKinney said agitatedly, she can burn spirits and people. No, she can't, Mary said as she held out her hand for Sarah to take. Tempest McLean gasped as the flames wrapped around Mary's hand without hurting her. That's just a SPECI special, very low temperature fire that burns at room temperature and can not hurt people. All right. So we got that there. Let me figure out. I'm going to add more to it. Okay, Abigail's little tantrum here is back at. It's going to be back at the Clark's cabin. So I need to put that in here. At the Clark's cabin, CAB cabin. Really? Autocorrect Clark's, yes. Geez, all the same. It should do this automatically. I don't know what the problem is. Let me go in here and see what I can figure out. Because this cheap individual option here, let's go to bring this up. Proofing, yes. Uh, all right. CLARK with CLARK apostrophe S space. No, I want to add a space there. I want to add a space there. Okay. All right. Let's see if it'll come on. Get thinking there. And let me hit save. Try to save all that stuff. All right. I got to take care of something here. I can feel in my stomach and stuff already here. So let me go in here. Oh, I need to put that on there. And I'll be right back. And Okay, so all right. Hang on, let me get in here. All right, got some more stuff added on there. And oops, I got to put it back up over here. Put that there. Say put. Okay, everyone's just saying hi. I had to get some milk because even though I drink a lot of water with the energy stuff, it still gets my stomach going sometimes. I need to settle it down, and eat some other stuff here. Okay, so I got that setting up for that stuff there, and all right. So there's not going to be too much going on from here down to there. Delete. There we go. So I work on that there. Um, so I just need to get some stuff going on here before they head back, and then I can shift into the nighttime stuff. Sort of not go into all the details of the fight plans that the generals and colonels and stuff are doing. Because we don't need to explain it twice. Yeah. Though I may need to go get an English muffin to help settle my stomach here. Mm. All right. Okay, we're at hour and a half. All right. All right. I'm sorry, my brain is just getting fried here, kind of writing because because one of the things I do when I'm writing, actually just doing writing and developing stuff. Let me see if I can bring it up here. I have and of course it goes and screws up on it, and it won't let me to. Okay. So it's got this other crap here showing here, which I don't like it doing. Let me see what I got here. Hang on. See? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this. So I got a bunch of songs here. And depending on what I'm doing, I'll pick out different ones in here. There's some really cool ones in here that just inspire me. And sometimes I'll bring in a lot of my Eno Marconi's stuff from Fistful of Dollars, $3 More, and stuff like that. And I got some Meatloaf songs in here. I'll bring in some other ones from other artists, but I'm using these here right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this here, and I'll bring it up here, and I'll hit play, and then I'll bring that down. And here, pause. I don't want to get nailed. And so I'll have some of the ones I run here, and I'll run through those. And I have those playing on the other screen over here. And so let me go ahead and move it over there and then drop it down. And I'll play those while I'm listening to those. It kind of inspires me in my writing and stuff. And my writing goes a little bit faster when I got music going. Well, I can't play the music here because I'll get strikes. So yeah. So an hour and a half here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull back here and do some reading on it, do some writing and stuff. And I will take us through. I will finish off the last. It's going to be like 3 pages here, or 4 pages for there. And then in here, going into the actual chapter 12, which I thought I was going to get to. And so I'll pick up in the morning, Wednesday morning, the 21st, as they're prepping for the battles on the 22nd. And as I don't know if you can see down here, let me roll it down here. So I got stuff going for the 22nd where the battles are also taken care of. When the people after the battles and those that are leaving, heading back to Idaho. And then I got stuff going up with the holidays coming up here. And at January 1st, I think is where I'm going to wrap it up at totally for the book. And so I'm not going to do a lot more here for you guys to see of this until next month when I get the other stuff done and we get through the others. I'll come back and wrap this up as I finish off both this book and book 2 of Scout and the Ninja and book 2 of Against the Wind. They're going to do the same thing, and come the first of the year or so is when they are going to wrap up it and hold off and then start books 3 in the new year. But yeah, I got, like I say, they're going to be starting tomorrow for in the next morning here on it. Michael rolls over generally so he wouldn't wake Kimberly up as he got out of bed. He moved to the dresser, laid out his briefs, T-shirt, socks, MCCUs. Then he headed to the bathroom to shower. Nice butt, Kimberly says. I thought you're still asleep. Nope, just watching. She sat up and slid from the bed. Go ahead and start, and I'll join you in a couple seconds. Then she chuckled loudly. Finally, I get to say and do that because, hey, they're married now. General Hale looked around at the officers and local officials seated at the table. His eyes rested for a moment on the 2 chairs that were tilted forward against the table to his right. He smiled, remembering his own honeymoon, then quickly swept the thoughts away and nodded to General Sampson Marquess to begin the meeting. Sampson called on Q section first, and Lieutenant Valerie Kirby stood and began reporting on what Q sections had finished during the night. And I'm going to expand that a little bit more. Hang on, let me expand that. So that'll be expanded a little bit more. Some of the cool stuff that Q section did during the night is going to be really cool and sneaky and devious and straight out of James Bond's stuff. And was it the movie The Bureau of Ungentlemanly Conduct or whatever, you know? Peggy Robinson sat back in the chair down the hall from Michael's and Kimberly's room. When Michael and Kimberly came out carrying some of their baggage, Peggy stood up and quickly walked down the hall towards them. We started the staff meeting 10 minutes ago. Peggy reached out and took their garment bags with one hand and travel bags with the other. General Marquis said that you had to do your 1 hour run before you could come back, she smiled. But he didn't say that you couldn't run back towards camp for an hour. As she walked away, I'll follow you in your truck for an hour, then you can get in. That'll save you about 15 minutes of drive time. What about your truck? Michael asked. The commander took it back last night. I slept in the back of your truck last night, and so I got stuff to go on there. And then we get down to some of the other upgrades. I got some notes in there and stuff, but war games, and talks about some of the things going on, talks about the groups coming in. I got some stuff laid out, numbers, and then evening, and then the 23rd is off to Idaho. And so that's what's coming up here. But I'm going to wrap it up here with where I am working on right here. And for this, to show that this is where I'm working at, I go and I put not yellow, but pink, showing that's where I'm typing at. So that's what I'm going to do, folks. And we're going to wrap it up here now. And tomorrow, I will pull up. Hang on here. Let me put me down here now. Now I got that. Hang on, hit save. Put me down here. Boom. So tomorrow is going to be, let me go ahead and take the banner out. We're kind of done for that for right now. It's going to be working on Hunker Down, the Family Compound series, which I actually started when I started this one here, and this one here, that one there, and Scout and the Ninja when I was still working at DHS. So I had the outlines done. So I already started those back then. Before I started Camp Patton Family Compound, I'd already started the Family Compound series. All right. So with that, and it froze. All right. So let me go ahead. And so we're going to wrap that up tonight on Camp Patton Family Compound channel. It's outdoor canning, challenges and solutions is the one tonight. Tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping is blackout rules, light discipline. And so those are the two live streams coming up, and I'll get that other stuff set. So, all right, everyone, I will see you later tonight on Camp Patton Family Compound.